Professor Raymond Navaco, a psychology professor at the University of California at Irvine, who has expertise in anger assessment and treatment, stated in a Washington Post article that, quote, we're living in effect in a big anger incubator. That's bad news for everyone. Parents, teachers, administrators, business owners, managers, and anyone else in a leadership position. Leaders are worn out trying to deal with all the individual cases of anger. Many feel like they're playing a losing game of anger whack-a-mole. We're falling further behind in keeping up with the episodes of anger, and as the anger accelerates, so does its expression. So, where's all this coming from? Well, it's coming from a couple of different places. First, the sheer volume of information people have to process today is overwhelming. It's a problem because as the human mind tries to digest all this information, it takes shortcuts for the sake of survival. These shortcuts are called heuristics. Psychology today defines a heuristic as, quote, a mental shortcut that allows an individual to make a decision, pass judgment, or solve a problem quickly and with minimal mental effort. That would be okay if all the information we were trying to process were noble, true, and accurate. But as we all know, that never has been nor will it ever be the case. With today's technology, inaccurate information can be distributed as fast, actually faster, than factual information. 3 scholars from MIT did a study in 2018 to find out just how powerful false information on Twitter was. They found that, quote, falsehood diffuses significantly farther, faster, deeper, and more broadly than the truth in all categories of information, and in many cases by an order of magnitude. They also stated that, quote, false news stories are 70% more likely to be retweeted than true stories are. It also takes true stories about 6 times as long to reach 1,500 people as it does for false stories to reach the same number of people. When it comes to Twitter's cascades or unbroken retweet chains, falsehood reached a cascade depth of 10 about 20 times faster than facts. What makes this so scary is the proliferation of all parties, of all persuasions, from the left to the right, of attributional bias. Studies have shown that attributional bias leads to aggressive and sometimes violent behavior. Kenneth Dodge of Duke University stated, quote, for many years, scholars and clinicians have noticed that some aggressive acts follow from a provocation by another. The tendency to retaliate when one has been intentionally and maliciously provoked seems to be a human inclination. Now, think about this for a minute. Information, both true and false, is coming at people, especially kids, at a rate faster than one can process the information easily. Add to that the fact that significant parts of that information is enveloped in attributional bias intended to arouse aggression and adversarial feelings, and you have a recipe for disaster. Adults and kids are overwhelmed and responding in a predictable way. So what's the solution? We can't keep up with the individual issues as fast as they arise. We can't stop the flow or volume of information. And despite attempts by some social media companies, the authors of this information cannot be silenced. Navaco says, quote, if you feel an impulse coming on to do something antagonistic, you've got to think, wait a minute, is this a good idea? What are the consequences of that? How is this helpful? Psychology Today says one has to, quote, think through major problems methodically. We have to train children and adults how to think critically in order to protect themselves from attributional bias and mental shortcuts. We must begin to build frameworks for processing the massive amounts of information bombarding us today. I want to share a resource with you that will begin this process. It's a short video titled Unmask the Drama. It's a sample of how people can use critical thinking to protect themselves from mental and emotional harm. Share it with everyone you know because it can help a lot. Are there other things to help? Absolutely. There are models and tools to teach individuals of all ages how to protect themselves and become critical thinkers. But for now, enjoy the video, Unmask the Drama. You'll find the link in the description below. Let's start protecting ourselves and our children. They need these skills in order to live happy and stress-free lives in our turbulent and polarized world. Share the video and let's start a conversation on critical thinking and how to do it.